Thursday night, and I know you all are thirsty. And I'm not talking about the beverages. I'm talking about you're thirsty for the Dadbods. That's what you are thirsty for. Welcome. It's the Dadbods podcast, episode number 86. And man, do we have a doozer for you. Full of segments, full of picks, and full of joy. Joining me, as always, the man that outdrove John Daly off a beer can, and not only that, he didn't even damage the beer can. He picked it up and chugged it right in front of John Daly. I don't know if that's true or not. You make the call. There might be a video. Lockbets.net. What's going on, my friend? Welcome to the Dadbods podcast. Why did I say that? You are the fucking co-host. There you go.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm happy to be here. All right. I came from the slums as an intern. I decided I had more availability and I could be a full-time host. What the hell's up, Guns? Can't believe it's already Thursday. I feel like like last week we went live and I felt like that was 2 hours ago. So I think I'm getting older, not getting wiser, but crazy week in sports, right? Some MLB,
right?
WNBA, maybe. Oh, British Open. So
yes, from St. Andrews.
At St. Andrews.
Hey, I didn't notice this, and I saw a video, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I guess you can just walk from the street to the 18th green, and you can just lean against the fence and just watch from the 18th green for free and not have to pay to get in. Did you see that?
It wouldn't surprise me, right? That's like some Bagger Vance shit right there. That's like old.
Right.
That's putting the lights on because it's getting, the lights on your car head because it's too dark. I mean, that's like, Scotland, they live for that shit. St. Andrews, pretty much the home of golf, I would say, right? Or at least top 3, top 4. I don't know. We got to ask our friend in arms, Jeff McGinnis. But I did not know that. I've been seeing so many stories this week leading up to St. Andrews and people's experiences. And the one takeaway I have is I think I'm poor. I think I don't to go to the British Open. So listeners at home, if you want to bring me to the British Open, just bring me. Let me tag along. Let's have a good time.
So speaking of the British Open, let's just get into that real quick. So we're through round 1, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The is not hit yet. It was a bit of a mind fuck. I tried waking up today at like 4 because the first tee time was 1:30 a.m. Eastern.
Oh wow.
I think I played it wrong. I think I should have stayed up late.
Right.
Got a little cat nap in, and then caught the morning wave. But I fucked it up. I missed, the first 20 golfers, maybe 25 golfers. But other than that, I've been pretty locked in. Just to recap here, I mean, if you guys have been sleeping under a rock, Cameron Young came out of, I would say left field, but I think he just came out of the relief pin. I mean, this guy has been nails all year in majors.
Yeah, he has.
Forget a little bit how he's been doing, but because he didn't perform at the U.S. Open. He didn't play that well at the U.S. Open.
Right.
Augusta, PGA, he was fucking pretty phenomenal.
He was killing it. Yeah. I think if you were betting Cam Young in those, because I think you got some favorable numbers, especially the Masters. I remember you got some pretty good numbers on Cam Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your take after you see? Oh, go ahead.
I'm boned on Cam Young.
Yeah.
So this week, of course, I'm doing my research. I'm like compiling a running list. I picked some good guys. I picked Dustin Johnson. He's -4. I picked I had Scheffler in a few lineups. He's -4. Xander Schauffele is right there, -4, -3. And I remember going to Cam Young's name, and I'm like, this guy is made for majors already. He's only 25 years old. He's made for majors.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many people you could say that about, but this year at least, he's made for majors. And what did he do today? He shoots a -8.
At St. Andrews.
At St. Andrews.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough as nails.
Yeah. So he's the early, he's the early grinder, but guns. There is a loaded leaderboard.
There is.
Loaded.
So going into that a little bit. Now you got, you've seen what happened in the first round. What are the expectations that you see? I mean, do you see any climbers that are gonna like come out and like get to that point where they set themselves in a position for a nice Saturday and Sunday? I mean, is there anybody in the second round that you would initially take just for the second round, or somebody that you would take live? I mean, what do you think from a future perspective?
Well, like I said, it's a loaded leaderboard, which is good after the first day. If you have 20 guys at the top, Vegas's odds are going to only help you out because mathematically one person can win. And if there's 20 guys next, your odds are substantially in good shape. Like I said before, I still like Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson was like -2 by the 8th hole, -2 by like the 7th hole, and it looked like he's gonna really start running. He goes back to even par, and then he goes birdie, 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 par, par, birdie.
Wow.
And, finished a few pars, but the back 9 he absolutely crushed. DJ's a lurker. Everyone forgets about DJ sometimes. DJ still is a top player in this field. He just took the money that Saudi Arabia offered, got a hot-ass wife, and you know what? Can you blame the guy? I mean, if I get $200 million, I just got married, what's wrong with that? You only live once.
Right.
And he still gets to play the majors.
Yeah, he's always competed in majors. It's been every year. He's always in those top groupings, top 10. That hasn't changed. Is consistency in that game, even though he's with Live Golf right now, which I'm almost considering as the I don't want to say this, but the initial reaction from me right now is they are the USFL of golf, but they have bigger, deeper pockets.
You're absolutely right. Like in terms of what am I going to watch? Like,
right.
If PGA's on, I'm going to watch that. But if there's nothing on, I guess I'll tune into the Live for 10 minutes while I'm drinking a beer.
Right.
And I'll probably go to Law and Order, SVU. I'll probably do something else. But like USFL, you watch because it's convenient, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, right now, Live is not convenient.
Right. It isn't. I haven't watched one. I know there's. Here's the thing, and I thought about this today. It is what drives me nuts about majors is everybody, ESPN, CBS. You can check all the media junkets. There's a big picture of Tiger Woods everywhere, and I think to myself, I may have not watched a lot of golf all year, but I know that Tiger Woods is not the top golfer for years. And I don't understand why they continue to 24-hour cover him when he's maybe nowhere near the leaderboard. Do you have any thoughts on this? What's your opinion?
Well, I think my opinion is there's a certain mystique to Tiger because he's not playing every week, right? On this show before 2019 Masters, there's a big mystique around it, big mystery, and then up to Augusta and wins, which nobody. So
nobody saw that. No. Well, maybe some.
Well, everybody's waiting now for that next one because we don't want to be caught off guard. If Tiger's roaring, we want to be there and ready.
Correct.
Television channels, they know Tiger is name brand recognition. We can't show Cameron Young's face on commercials because nobody knows what Cameron Young looks like.
What about Cam Smith? He seems marketable.
He would be. We got to get him a nickname, though. We got to get Cam Smith a nickname.
He needs to really be the young version of John Daly. I kind of see that a little bit in him. You know, I think he's got that mentality in a sort of sense, but you have to kind of separate yourself from being just every other golfer and just being a good golfer. As like you can kind of let your personality fly. I already know you have a personality. I've seen your mullet. I've seen your look.
Right.
It's fantastic. Your mustache is fucking epic. Those are the guys I want to be a fan of. It's like, let's try to compete with Tiger as far as the marketability is concerned. I mean, come on now.
I still think, unfortunately, golf in its purest form, it is a upper class sport.
Yes.
And a lot of these people that come up through the amateur ranks, the rookie ranks, like playing youth golf tournaments, they tend to be very quiet people, not outlandish. You have a few outliers, of course. I still think Brooks Koepka any given day can provide either comedy, drama,
Oh yeah.
romance. I think he's a great figure in golf. I still think Bryson provides a lot of drama, which is good for ratings and good for your social media presence. But guys like Pat Cantley, guys like Cam Young's silent, Ernie Els, like quiet people.
Yeah.
Quiet golfers aren't going to be on Instagram or TikTok and growing the game and being marketable.
Right.
And Cam Smith, unfortunately, like he has a few tidbits, a few quotes. Oh, I drank a beer yesterday and I ended up winning the tournament. Like,
yeah.
That. But like he didn't show a video of him chugging a beer.
No. He seems very like introverted a little bit. Like
professional golfer, I would realize that there is a huge want and a huge need for content, like at all times.
Right.
You see like a bunch of these golf podcasts and golf accounts doing great work because content is king. And like honestly, the one person off the top of my head that really crushes content is like Louis Oosthuizen singing in his private jet. And like if that's the best we're offering to the world, the golf is in trouble. So Cam Smith, I think, needs to hire a PR firm, and I think he's just got to start rocking the mullet, racing stripes, drinking some more beers, get a sponsorship, with a beer company, and go from there.
But I mean, when I think of content, golf content, I think of John Daly. John Daly's really crushing content right now. Like whatever he's doing on the golf course, he's actually aligning himself with high-end content contributors in the golf industry. I've seen that kind of flow through my feed too, and I stay on it. I'm from that generation watching John Daly play, but you have a good point there. It's like maybe that's the future of the game. And hell, if Live Golf wants to separate themselves a little bit, I would be encouraging my golfers that I pay a lot of money for. This is what the hell we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be fun to watch, exciting to watch, but we're also going to be professional and competitive when it comes down to the tournaments, because that's what the old school golfers want to see. But we can separate ourselves a little bit on the social media side because those guys don't look at their TikToks. They don't look at their Instagrams. It's like we can compete on that level. But that's just my thoughts on it.
Well, I think Live Right or LIV, I think they are doing a great job with that in terms of like your social media feed. And it's causing controversy because every one of their social media posts, a ton of hate and a ton of positives. But anybody who's, somebody knows that bad publicity, good publicity is great publicity. And, you don't see videos of private jets with Pat Perez and Dustin Johnson drinking champagne after they just won their tournament. And people are like hating on it, like, oh, Saudi Arabia money. Oh, Pat Perez shot a cool 82 and he still won with the team. And I'm like, hey, Pat Perez is living his best life.
Yeah.
Is absolutely smacked on tequila, drinking a few tequila sunrises in the middle of 5,000 feet above, and I think they're doing a good job of pushing that narrative, pushing social media. Like Greg Norman's coming out of his Escalade, and he's got like Eye the Tiger. He's got like all these songs going. PGA is unfortunately it's an aging brand.
Yeah.
They got to step up. They have.
Right.
I think they will. I think they will. They have all the money in the world,
Yeah.
because they haven't been telling their golfers how much money they've been profiting off of them for the last 8 years.
But you know what helps with that? Competition.
Yeah.
It makes you better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So having competition out there and not being the only guy on the block, that's going to make things a little bit different. You're going to have to revamp. You may have to overhaul your whole corporate organization to go get those guys that can actually build your brand and say, hey, listen, we got to appeal to more than just the old school generation and the degenerate, maybe even go after the degenerate gamblers and maybe do what the XFL was trying to do before they got cut off is they try to appease the gambling content and really going after it because the NFL at the time wasn't doing it. And I don't think the PGA really is promoting it as much as they probably could either. So,
yeah, I mean, they show like live odds sometimes, but like, I think if it was, announcing the live odds on the whole, like, oh, Jordan Spieth's coming in here versus Justin Thomas. Jordan Spieth is -150 to win the whole.
Oh, live bets. Hey, if you can get Justin Thomas live at +185. I mean, there's so much you could freaking do.
Well, DraftKings, no, like these apps are doing it, but the PGA just wants to be proper. Listen, I hate to say it, but it really is a stuffy country club-esque corporate structure there. It's all a bunch of old.
Right, old money. I know what you're saying.
They suck. They stink.
Yeah.
They up. Got to get young bloods in there, and they have to revamp a ton of shit. But as you saw, probably the PGA next year is going to start doing the same LIV structure,
right?
And massive money pots. And unfortunately, they had to do that because it was like a sinking ship. I mean, the ship there was multiple holes in the bottom of it, and they. But anyway,
yeah.
Your question was, who do you like? Who's a little barking dog on the leaderboard?
Yeah, who are we talking about before we get into our sponsor here? I mean, what are you liking for the rest of the tournament? Maybe even pick a second round guy. Do you think you have one, or do you want to just focus on who's going to win this damn thing?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't want to focus on the second round.
Yeah,
because listen, there's so many people out there, but guys that I see tremendous value in. I mean, a guy like Hideki Matsuyama is -1. He is 35th place right now, 8 or 7 strokes off the lead. You take him top 5, top 10.
Yeah,
you're probably getting pretty decent odds on that. So like Hideki Matsuyama is my first guy. It caught my eye. I had Patrick Cantley outright for the tournament. He's -2. Like I said, he's a silent assassin. Wouldn't be surprised if Pat Cantley goes the lowest round tomorrow. So there you go. Pat Cantley, low round tomorrow for round 2, British Open. You don't even know he's there. He's a fucking mosquito that's lingering in the woods. Pat Cantley is -2 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes -6 tomorrow, gets up to the leaderboard. Now he's really charging for the weekend. And
beautiful.
Then, last but not least,
breaking news: Ivana Trump died. So.
I like Joaquin Niemann as well for low round tomorrow. So Joaquin Niemann and Cantlay, 2 golfers I really love pre-tournament. I'm sticking with them. I believe in their game, and hopefully we can clip this to Twitter tomorrow night, same time.
I am stamping it as we speak so I can clip it tonight, and I will put it on the Dadbodd's Twitter.
Let's fucking go.
I will RT that one. So while we have a minute, let's get to the sponsor, and we'll segue into a little bit of college football talk, maybe even a little bit of a Cappers breakdown. So let's get to our sponsor right now. This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila Seltzers is a refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations as it was created for the active lifestyle mind. Viva flavored their tequila because flavor is the spice of life, and they like their drinks with a kick, just as they like to live their lives. Viva flavors perfectly with their artisanal Blanco tequila for a subtle and refreshing drinks. Their belief is to live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva Up. Please check them out on Twitter at Viva Seltzer. Booyah! We are roughly around 50 days away from the best time of the year. No, I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about college football. Week 0 is August 27th. The season really revs up on the 3rd and kind of starts really on the 1st, but Saturday is the 3rd September. I just got my magazine of Phil Steele, probably the only Bible you should have. I know there are a lot of competing ones out there, but there's nothing better for how I look at college football. And I started kind of breezing through the content that was in there, and I was very surprised to find, maybe this is a spoiler for anybody that is waiting for that magazine to come in to see who the surprise college football team is this year. I already told lock bets before the podcast, and that team is the USC Trojans. Now, if you know anything about the USC Trojans, they got a new coach in Lincoln Riley. They have a new quarterback in Williams, and they have the reigning Blitnikoff winner from Pittsburgh. These are offensive weapons. Their offensive line, I haven't looked that far into it to see how good they are. I don't even know how good their defense is, but Phil Steele believes that this is the number one surprise team and will be the most improved team in college football this year. Lock bets.
Sure.
You watch college football. You've bet on college football.
Yeah.
You've seen UFC play as much as probably I have. Do you think that USC, with the revamp of that team, with Lincoln Riley and everything that's happened, is USC going to be the juggernaut it once was?
Yeah, in 3 years.
Fair. I like that take. Fair.
Absolutely. But my only point is, just because Lincoln Riley brings his Oklahoma Sooner crowd to Southern California into a new conference and a new alumni support, new political system with California. My only point is, what has changed in 1 year where Lincoln Riley guys that he's bringing over is going to miraculously change USC's culture overnight?
Right.
I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to beat teams they shouldn't. I mean, they got Notre Dame on the schedule this year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they could shock the world and, beat a team like Notre Dame. But I don't think the other teams in that division are just going to be laying down and saying, "Oh, take me, Lincoln Riley. Take me, Lincoln Riley." I just think it's going to be a little bit of a, rough sledding at first. I mean, in the modern era of football, can you name a coaching change that in the first 3 games of that change miraculously switched over overnight? I don't think so.
No. I mean, you would have to dig back into big games. And most teams, when they start out, even with new coaches, the first 3 weeks, you have just maybe a handful of matchups that are actually competitive. And then you kind of get into your schedule right around week 4, week 5.
Yeah.
So there's no name that I can think of that probably stuck out. Maybe, God, I'm trying to think of the Notre Dame coach that walked into a great situation with a great team, and they were the Guess it was, no, I was trying to think of why is it drawing a blank? I can't think of the guy's name. He used to be the former offensive coordinator for the Patriots.
Charlie Weiss.
Charlie Weiss. That's the guy I thought of. Like, he walked into a good situation, walked in year one, absolutely dominated, played well, got to a bowl game. I think he lost to Ohio State, and then he got a massive contract right after that year, and it just went all downhill. I mean, the team lost in his reign, lost to Navy for the first time in 60 years. They lost to Syracuse. That was like 2-9. It was like one of the worst decisions that Notre Dame ever made, and I think they're still paying for it. That's a guy I think of. But I mean, with the NIL and with the ability to have players transfer immediately,
yes,
that's, to me, is way different than what the situations were in the past. So I don't. Maybe he comes out year one striking because the Pac-12 is just weak sauce anyways. It's just whatever team is quasi good enough is going to make the Rose Bowl and probably lose to Ohio State or Michigan or Wisconsin or whatever. But I don't know. I love who they've gotten transferred in. I don't know if they're going to be able to gel that quick, but I think if you look at them at week 7, week 8, that's the way you're going to see the direction that USC is going to be going, and
but also
watch recruiting.
USC doesn't have to go undefeated to win that league.
Definitely not.
It could go 0-2, 0-3 even.
Right.
3 games and still win the division or the league. So they are in a softer, league.
Correct.
Like if Lincoln Riley was about to start at Clemson, there would be tremendous pressure. Or not Clemson. Let's say Alabama. Let's say Lincoln Riley's about to take over for Alabama. Alabama, you lose 2 games. Georgia just upseeded you as the number 1 seed, and you're already behind the 8 ball. But either way, there's playoffs. The new system, you don't have to go undefeated to be one of the better teams in the nation.
No, so you don't.
That is a positive, and I'm with you. I think USC's back. USC's been gone for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you, and I could agree with you, USC is back. But
I think if they embrace NIL as much as Texas A&M's embraced it and basically utilize that as a tool to get, I mean, what I would do if I was Lincoln Riley is I'd lock down my state. That's step one, because everybody poaches from your state anyways. How about you try to corner that market and take it all and use NIL as your guide?
I'm Lincoln Riley. I'm calling up the hottest names in Hollywood day one.
Yeah.
I'm calling the hottest TikTokers, the ones with the millions and millions of followers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in training camp. I'm inviting them. And I will encourage them to just do content the whole time. Because you know what? That trickle-down effect, recruits in this day and age, they see it on Instagram. They see it on TikTok.
Yes.
I'm Lincoln Riley. I want social media on fleek. All right? On fleek. That's a millennium. It's already a dated term. But I want social media to play a huge impact, because I want going to California. I want going to Southern California to be back. Matt Leinart walking around with Paris Hilton. I want Reggie Bush, walking into the hottest nightclubs. I want Reggie Bush on the sidelines. I just need USC to be back, and it's obtainable. All right.
It's like Will Ferrell, get off the fucking field. We don't need you. It's like the guys that watched you are in their 40s. I need Nelk. Where can I get the Nelk boys to get on the field and do some stupid shit? I need them.
What's who are the guys that make all the basketball shots and?
Dude Perfect. Those are A&M guys. They will never go to LA. Those guys are straight A&M. So Jimbo Fisher owns Dude Perfect.
All right, get Nelkin, get the Canadians in there. Get Dana White out there. You know, just you got to give some energy back to it, because right now, not only is USC hurting, I mean Hollywood's hurting. I mean they're a mess in California. So I want them to be back. All right.
Yeah, I hear you. So this is kind of a lead into one of our segments. This is a brand new segment on the Dadbodd podcast, and we're going to continue this week to week. It's the summer of the dads, so we're going to start it off here, and we call this segment Nuke It, Bet It, Fade It, or Forget It. So to explain the rules of Nuke It, Bet It, Fade It, or Forget It, it's got the F, Marry, Kill kind of feel to it. So Nuke It is the mortal lock of everything in this category. So I'm going to tell you the category in a second. The Bet It is, this may not hit all the time, but when it happens, you have to bet it, because that's what you do. It hits more than it misses. The fade is obviously what a fade is. You go the opposite direction of what this certain aspect of college of the category is. And then forget it is you stay way the hell away from this category. So the category that we're using today is obviously what we led up with. This is college football. So we're going to start with a nuke. We're going to go back and forth on this one. So I'm going to start with lock bets. What is your nuke?
My nuke. First off, unbelievable editing. You are the brains behind this operation, and I'm ready to fucking nuke something. All right,
Let's go.
Not starting a world war, but I have
is nuke trademarked? Because I know other shows use the
well,
nuke.
I know Pun is looking to nuke. I think he's trying to trademark it. So you better.
Right, I'm going to talk to my lawyers on that one, because I want to cease and desist a few people.
I'm going to open up a beer and I'm going to tell you what to nuke right here, right now. I love this bet. It's a bet. It's a team. Wisconsin football.
Yes.
Now, this could be in a bunch of categories, but the bet that I want you to nuke is under 8.5 wins.
Ooh.
Under 8.5 wins. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Friend Graham Mertz.
Worst. He's the worst.
How old? Graham Mertz last year with teams with winning records, not teams that were top 10.
Yep.
Teams with winning records. This was his stat line. 5 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 55% completion rate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a guy that can lead a team to 9 wins? And let's a list of teams that they're going to have to beat at least 4 or 5 of these teams.
Right.
Ohio State, Michigan State, Iowa, Purdue, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern. You know the whole spiel. But what my point is, Wisconsin's quarterback efficiency is out the door. Jim Leonard, the coordinator, has lost 4 starters in the linebacker core. I think you only start 3, but 4 of the veteran leaderships are gone.
Yeah.
So defense is going to be a little loosey-goosey, especially with teams like Iowa who like to ground and pound and really suffocate you.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see Wisconsin winning 7 games. I mean, maybe they win 7, but maybe 8, but they don't win 9. They do not win 9. Nuke it. Wisconsin under 8.5 games, 1 plus 100.
My opinion of that pick is you've said everything that despises me of Graham Mertz, and Wisconsin. The only thing that can salvage that and hurt your future is if Allen gets the ball 80% of the time and runs it down your throat, because the Wisconsin defense is going to do what they do. the Wisconsin probably has the number 4 line or top. They have a top 5 offensive line in the country. So that if I was the coach of that team, I said, hey, Graham, if you can't throw, you better hand that ball to that 18-year-old kid that put up a over 1,000 yards and 6.3 yards per carry after you screwed up half the season, because the back half of the season, their schedule was very weak, and they did lose the last game that would have put them in the Big Ten championship. So you may be on to something there. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying everything's predicated on what the Wisconsin offense chooses to give the ball to.
Right. And I remember last year, Wisconsin was fraudulent to me. So maybe I'm a little emotional. I took Wisconsin no less than 5 times last year, and I think I went maybe 2 and 3.
Well, because you took them at the first half of the season. The second half of the season, they were absolute money. It's because they had Allen, who was supposed to be a redshirt that year. They brought him in there, and he ends up being the future of Wisconsin running backs. And
what, Monty Ball? Is he Monty Ball too?
He's well, when he's done his career, if he stays as long as Monty Ball did, he's gonna exceed that. He's that good. But Graham Mertz.
Anyway,
all right, so my nuke
but
on this one. What's that?
I want to hear your nuke.
Okay, so this is kind of it's not really a season type of play. This is just every year when this comes up, you take it without even doing any research, looking at anything. You just do it. And I'm talking about Armed Force unders as my nuke. It doesn't matter what the line is. The bookmakers can't make a line for this. If it's 30, I don't know why they don't make it 15. Half the time. All these teams run triple option, and their strategy is we're going to run a 15-play, 16-play, 20-play drive down the field, 3 to 4 yards of carry. We're going to go for it on 4th down because we don't punt, and we're never going to call timeouts. We're just going to run the shit out of the clock and annoy everybody who bet the over. Armed Forces unders is tradition in college football, and you should always take it no matter what. Even if it's public, just take it. It hits at an 80-something% rate in the last 10 years or something. I don't know the stat, but I always put it on my card. If I know Air Force, Navy, and Army are playing each other at any point of the season, you always take the under. So that's my nuke.
That's what I was going to ask. Preface. Is it Armed Forces versus anybody, or is it Armed Forces?
No, I have to say it has to be Air Force versus Navy, Air Force versus Army, et cetera, even the last game of the season when you have the tradition unlike any other. I'm not talking about the Masters. I'm talking about Army versus Navy. Those are the games I'm talking about.
I love that. And you know what? I know so many people that they look at Army versus Navy and over under is 31. They're like, oh my God, this is an over.
Yes.
No, so fast.
Do you know what my mentality is? That's the books going. Come on, pussy. Take the under. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. I dare you. You know what? It just ticked down to 30. Take it at 30. Do it. I'll take it at 15. Keep going, buddy. Keep drive that thing down.
That going to be the theme of this? Like, should we just do like hot takes, or do you want me to give you some bets?
You can give bets. I don't. I do have a bet for week 1, but I'm kind of saving that.
Okay. All right. What's next? I'm ready.
Okay, so now this is bet it. Now, when we say bet it, it's not a nuke. It's not quite a nuke, but it's a bet. It's always a bet that you probably take. It wins probably 60% of the time, 70% of the time. It doesn't hit all the time. And yeah, a lot of mine are take bases, trying to keep it entertaining. Or you can even give a bet here. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna give a bet. I'm gonna give my week 1 bet in this spot.
you want me to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, step up. You good?
Well, I already wrote down my bets because I thought I just want to give you some bets. But you know what? The one trend that everybody in the room right now has been there, done that. 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love this. All right. Okay.
1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yep.
The only thing on the board is Chinese baseball, some ping pong, and then you got the rainbows, the fighting rainbows. You got
the Rainbow Warriors. Yes.
Well, it used to be the rainbows.
Yes.
You got Hawaii versus
somebody in their conference. Yes.
Yeah. And it's 2 o'clock. It's 1:30 in the morning. You're like, well, number one, I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over because I still remember Colt Brennan. All right, Colt Brennan. That's all I know because I'm so fucked up.
Yes.
Like, I've been at the bar all night. I've lost a few wagers. I'm trying to make my money back.
Yeah.
You put that, take the over, you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, and you're like, what the hell happened last night? You open up your DraftKings account, Hawaii, 56, San Marcos Valley.
San Jose State. San Jose State. That's a good one.
58.
Yes.
58, 52. It went over by 25 points.
Right.
Now, in the same breath, I do tend to just take Hawaii at home. Just
yes.
Blindly.
Good on the island. They're always good on the island, right?
I do want to just sneak that in. Hawaii overs, Hawaii overs. That's my bet. But I do want to just go over something with you. My bet. All right. I got the tale of two cities. I got UNC and I got University of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And my man, Shane Beamer. UNC's over under 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 135. A little juicy. South Carolina over 6. Minus 125. So I just want to go over South Carolina's schedule with you, and I'm going to tell you what to bet. It's going to be a live reaction, all right? University of South Carolina. Here we go.
Yep.
They start their season, Georgia State, 1-0. Arkansas, 2-0. They beat the fucking Razorback, 2-0. At home, at Arkansas, they go into that 12 o'clock game. They beat them, 2-0. They play Georgia week 3. They get absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
2. They play Charlotte. They beat Charlotte, 3-1.
Okay.
South Carolina State, 4-1. They play Kentucky at Kentucky. I'm gonna have to go 4-2 there. I think they're gonna lose to Kentucky. That's a tweener though. That could be let's say 4-2. Texas A&M, they get crushed, 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Missouri 5-3. Vanderbilt 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
Florida 7-3. Tennessee 8-3. Clemson 8-4. Where'd I go wrong there? Maybe Florida. They lose to Florida.
Arkansas is going to be tough.
Tennessee may be tough too.
I don't know what Clemson is yet. Florida, I don't know what Florida is yet. Everybody has high hopes for Florida, but I don't know who they are.
I mean, in your same breath that you said, Lincoln Riley's bringing Oklahoma down to Southern California. Shane Beamer got Spencer Rattler, who was in a bad.
That's a great point that you just made right there. Is like you forget that Spencer Rattler is at South Carolina.
Beamer was
forget.
He was the one who recruited Spencer Rattler.
Very good point, and I think that's a missing piece of South Carolina team that they've really never had that I can remember.
Never.
So that's a very good point. So yeah, if you're looking at college football, make sure you look at where these guys have gone. Spencer Rattler, you know what? I would love to see. So what's the over and under in that one? Is it 7.5, 8? You said
No,
on the
6.
yeah, they'll get a bowl game. That's
Yeah.
take that. Yes,
It's juice
I like
-1.
it. That's a bet it.
UNC, I get a tough schedule. They're with starting quarterback. Guns may know who their new starting quarterback is, but I don't.
Not yet. I haven't gotten to the ACC, but I'll let you know.
He's a nobody. And Mac Brown, unfortunately, Father Time is really fun having him there. He's a nice ESPN grandfather. Good to see. But they play Florida A&M, so 1-0. Appalachian State, I think that's a tough match.
Yeah, that may get beat there.
Say 1-1. Yep. Georgia State 2-1. Notre Dame, they're going to get smacked.
Mm-hmm.
2. Virginia Tech. Probably, right?
Are they? Wait.
At home in Chapel Hill.
I have to look at how the game turned out. I think UNC beat them Did UNC beat them last year? Because that could be a revenge spot for Tech. Interesting. Is it at Virginia Tech?
I like Virginia Tech. Let's do Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, good.
Miami's never easy.
No, Miami's going to be a good team this year. Don't sleep on them.
2-4.
Yep.
3-4. Pittsburgh, they don't have their starting quarterback, but they still have a bunch of returners. Let's say 4-4. Let's say 4-4.
Yep.
Then they go Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech. If they sweep that, they'll be in okay shape, right? They'll be at 7. But then they end the season with NC State, and I don't think they beat NC State.
No, NC State's one of the top teams in the ACC.
So even if they go that 3-0, that'll get them to 7 wins.
Yep.
State, they lose. They do not hit their over. So UNC under 7.5, -125. South Carolina over 6.
I like that too. There's a revamp of that offense for UNC too, and I think that was kind of a leading success for that team right now. Mac Brown. I haven't looked at the recruiting for the last like 2 or 3 years since he's been there. I think he's been very lucky with the talent that he's had, and it's been a bunch of talent that UNC has not produced as far as the NFL caliber is concerned, and I think that's going to be a very tough spot for them in a lot of games in the ACC where it's very high-end balanced. And I think there's a lot of teams that are up-and-comers like Miami, NC State. I think Clemson is going to be the team to beat, especially because they had health issues last year, and they're bringing back a lot of guys on the defensive side. So, I think UNC is going to kind of fall to the wayside. So that I like that.
And that 3-game span of Virginia, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, those are teams that are probably going to be at the same.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. My bet, I'm going a little bit more comical with mine. So when we're talking about, and I'll give a bet at the end of this one too, so don't worry about that one. So it'll be my week 1 first bet of the year, and I've already locked it in. So my bet is media jinxing teams week to week all season long. And what I mean by that is you have the game of the week. Whoever it is, whatever conference it is, they're going to lean to one side overwhelmingly. And they're going to remind you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the way up to game day. We are coming to your city, blah, blah, blah. And here comes Lee Corso and they're putting on the freaking mascot and all this bullshit that they do. And it's the same shit all the time. Don't let the media lead you into a bet. Take the others. And it could be I could have made this a fade, but I made this a bet. You just take the team that is not getting the coverage. Oh, and then you have the little segment pieces with the running back that made given a ball to the kid because they beat a team 40-10 the week before. That kind of shit always I was like, you are going to get your dick kicked in this week, and I'm going to take the other side. That's what I'm looking at for a bet.
I love
so, with that being said,
Okay.
My first bet of week 1, and I'm going to be taking a borderline heavy favorite here, and that is I'm going to be looking at Mississippi State is playing Memphis in week 1. And if anybody knows anything about college football or watches it like a degenerate like myself, I remember that game because I took Memphis at home. Now, Memphis is going to be playing at Mississippi State this year. The line on that game, I remember with my brain, was 2.5, 3, and it was always teetering. So a lot of people are taking Mississippi State as very public bet. Memphis ended up winning in a heart-wrenching game with Mississippi State coming back into the game, and they made a few bonehead moves, lost the game outright to Memphis. It was a big play for me taking Memphis. Now they're going to go play Mississippi State in a revenge spot in week 1 with less of a team than you had before. Mike Leach is going to, at the very least, come out swinging for the fences. That team finished very strong last year. They're bringing back a lot of the starters. I like Mississippi State in this spot. -17 for the game. It's -17. That should tell you something. It was -2.5, -3 for Mississippi State last year.
Wow.
It's jumped 14 points from last year to this year. I'm going to take them first half, and I'm going to take them game. So give me Mississippi State.
Nice 1 unit each.
We'll see. The weight of the unit has not been interpreted. I want to make sure that I'm not losing any players from July 14th to now till I think the game is on September 3rd. So that is my first play. First half, Mississippi State, and -17 for the game. Bet it.
Guys, you are listening onto the ground level of college football 2022. Guns is giving you lots now. I would not be surprised to see Mississippi State shoot up the board 20 and a half, 21, 9.5. Get
The line is available now. I checked my book, and I've already put a bet on it. So
grab it. So what's next?
All right, so now we got Faded.
Okay.
So Faded is, I mean, everybody here who's listening to this podcast knows what a fade is, but that's what we're doing. So fade college football.
So just hold there. Hold.
Okay.
Say something fun. Say a joke, Guns.
All right. So actually, while we're on the podcast right now, I want to give a play for tomorrow. And anyone that's listening is going to get this play right now live on the Dadbodd podcast. I'm going to be taking an F5, Miami money line, and the under F5. I don't know what the line is right now, but take it. I think it's going to be 3.5 on the under, and whatever the money line is. Miami's going to be favored in this one. Alexandra is going to be the pitcher tomorrow and hasn't given up more than 2 runs to an opponent in any home starts this season. Gibson is 0-7-1 on the road after 5 innings. And then Miami, while that is a problem, and I know Gibson has given up a lot of runs, Miami just can't put up runs. Their offense is terrible. They average 1.1 runs per 5 innings in their last 12 games and 1 run average in their last 10 with Alexandra as the starter. So with all that being said, I'm going to be going with Miami money line and the under, whatever it is, first 5 innings.
Wow.
I just gave a play for tomorrow.
Man has spoken, and I have another beer. One day, we will be sponsored by more than one alcohol company, and I hope it's one of these. I know water,
right?
The Ranger. We don't give out free ads, but I have been making my way through a variety pack tonight.
All right, so the next category we got is the fade, and I'll leave it up to you.
Well, you have a problem. I have my fade it ticket. Right? I know what I did. I got to find it. All right. Anyways, fade it is going to be your friend who texts the group chat 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday and says, guys, I know it's Friday. I know I'm sitting at my desk, but I got the mortal lock. All right.
Oh,
I got
yes.
the lose. Take the money line. Minus 300 on Florida versus Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
Minus, take the fucking money line. And then parlay it with USC over Washington State.
Mhm.
Parlay those two, and we'll have drinks all of next weekend for free. The guy in the group chat that sends his heavy money lines, $10 to win $100, 6 teams, minus 400 each leg. Yo, guys, tell me which leg doesn't hit. There's always going to be that little fucking.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
Anybody searching for gold, anybody searching for the parlay that can't lose, that guy in the group chat, kick him out now.
Yes.
Fade it. Fade it every time. And you know what? My friend, he fades all of my other buddies' plays in our group chat, and he was 65% last year. So the guy in the group chat that says he can't lose, that's right when you fade. Anytime that somebody goes out of their way to text you a lock, say, okay, that sounds great. And you take the other side. Take the other way.
I love it. Or I love that guy that like, hey, I got a buddy that is on the field at Pittsburgh, and he says that so and so probably isn't gonna play. He's been kind of limping here and there. You should got to take this. I was like, and then you look at the line didn't move at all. I was like, do you really think the books, no less than you, ever? No. So stop playing. The line would have been shot up and done this, that, and the other thing. So that insider information, 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100 is bullshit.
Guns, that's actually good too. Fade it whenever you get the first sentence being, yo, bro, I got inside info. Run away.
Yes. No, I go ahead.
I've only got
who they playing.
got one inside info. One. And I've probably got 100 DMs, 100 messages, hundreds and hundreds of hot leads. One was actually spectacularly accurate. It was during one of the major sports drafts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you guys in the group chat, I go, dude, I even told my group, it's with guns, it's with odds. Yep. I said, have something that's hot on my plate. They unexpectedly took that guy. He was like plus 800 for them to take him. But take that with a grain of salt. Right. Never take inside info. Sorry.
Drafts are different. That's a different animal. Yeah. You may know a guy on the floor that may give you something inside before the pick goes in.
If you're like
straight games,
boy, if you're cousins with the water boy, and the water boy during a shoot around just heard the head coach say, "Hey, I like I like RJ Barrett. Oh, I like this guy. We're gonna go up and get him."
Yeah,
that's inside. But if somebody said, "Oh, yo, my cousin goes to Mississippi State, and he said the winds are really howling."
Oh, fuck. I'm taking the over. All right. So my fade for this one is it's you've seen it before. College football is a very emotional sport. It's run on emotion. The coaches drive that all week. You have rivalry games, you have revenge games, you have all this stuff. So my fade is teams off a big win, especially if the next game is a road game versus an average opponent. And I'm talking about you went and you played a ranked game. You played Clemson, you played whoever, say Texas A&M versus Alabama, whatever it is. You got that big win. You beat a big team. You tore down your goalpost. Everybody charged the field. You had the hoop and hurrah. You probably had 2 days off before you had to practice again and look at tape. And you have this opponent that's coming up that we're going to beat them anyways. I'm not really Going to be keen on this one, as you know, we probably have another game next week that's better. The team that is in the waiting is eating raw meat with gunpowder in it, getting riled up to play you because you just had a big win. Those teams I will take all day long because college football is built on emotion, and that's what drives them, and the coaches drive them. That's why I love fading teams off big wins.
I love that, and you hit the hammer on the head. Back in my heyday, my high school football career, Monday of a big week, our coach would post all the newspaper clippings of the
That's
other
right.
team, and they'd say, "Oh, they just quoted saying, oh yeah, we're looking ahead to 2 weeks from now. We're gonna look," because it's all emotional.
It's very much. Mm-hmm.
Human beings. There's a human being behind the helmet, and it plays a huge, huge role. There's only outlier teams out there that can do this. Alabama, they could have a huge win, and then they can go the next week and not let anybody down. But statistically, historically, emotionally, letdowns are a fantastic play to expect. Fantastic play to expect.
And I'm not saying that the team will lose the next week. I'm saying they won't cover.
Letdown.
I think there's an inflation in the line based on the public perspective of the team.
Right.
And that carries over to the next week, bearing in mind that that team is hungry as a motherfucker to go beat a big team, knowing that you just had a lucky week. You probably didn't deserve that win, but you got that win. I'm going to come at you very strong this week, so be ready. Those are the teams I'm looking for.
I hate to say it, but I keep batting the South Carolina horn, but I think it was about 3 years ago. They beat Georgia.
Yep.
They beat Georgia at Georgia. Huge.
Big win.
Huge upset. The next week, I think they played Missouri, Tennessee. They got smacked around. The line was like South Carolina -4 versus like a decent team. Oh, they just beat Georgia. They should crush this team. They lost by 14. So it happens time in and time again.
Yep. All right. Here's a forget it. So the forget it is I'm consistently going to stay away from this no matter what, whatever the bet may be. The situation, I'm just going to stay away from it.
Okay, so first off, when you say forget it, it reminds me of the people that harp on their losses. They complain, they ruin your night. You're at a bar and you lost the early slate. Let's say you lost the 7 o'clock, or no, let's say you lost 12 o'clock prime time. You lost a college football game.
They went 0-4, 0-5 in the 12 o'clocks, and they're trying to chase 3:30. Yes.
All you hear about is the guy in your ear.
Yes.
All I'm trying to do is get a Jaeger bomb.
Yes.
Don't be that guy. All right.
Yes.
Not your first rodeo. All right. You wager before. And if it is your first wager, then listen. It's going to happen. You're going to lose.
Yes.
You're going to. But if you stay above the water and you try to gain an edge,
yes,
you won't be complaining as much. The guys that complain are the ones that are weak.
Yes.
Absolutely. And they ruin it for everybody. The girls are there. You know, like you're having a great Saturday fun day. Nobody's working. And you have that one guy complaining about how he went 0 for 5 in the 12 o'clock slate. Forget it. Done.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
I mean, you got to be professional about it. I mean, do you see like Aaron Rodgers complaining after a loss, in an interview and analyzing what went wrong and why it went wrong and why his pick was like his team was better? No.
Calling out the play calling, like,
forget. Yeah, complaining all the way through. It's a Debbie Downer. It's like betting is supposed to be fun. We're trying to make money. Positive vibes. If you're having a bad day, keep a level head. Maybe even take a step back and maybe go, it ain't my night.
ask your friend, be like, hey, like, I just went 0 for 5. I have my thoughts about this game, but like, I do
Yeah.
want to way. Who do you like? Or go on Twitter, follow Guns Picks, follow Lock Pets, follow
That's right.
start getting some. You need other ears other than these.
Yeah. Yeah, watch Shark and the Gun show on Friday nights and take
Yeah,
notes. That's all
yeah.
you can do.
All right, who?
All right, so for my forget it, and this is annoying to me, and it's going to be more annoying to me as years go on, especially with the transition of what college football industry is going to be. And this is non-college football playoff or major bowl game opt-outs or transfers. So going into the games, you have 3 weeks of bowl games, essentially. I mean, they start probably in mid-December and they go all the way out to the last week of January. And you try to get value on lines. That's what I do, is like I'll buy lines if I like them on a Monday or a Tuesday, and I'll buy the ones that I like just because I think they're going to move. With college football bowls, I can't do that because I don't know who's going to be playing in those games. Take Washington State, for example. They opt out 10 guys an hour before kickoff, and I've already made my bet, and I know I'm fucked.
And you made it.
That is annoying as shit, and that makes me not want to bet bowls that don't matter. I'll call it bowls that don't matter.
Wait, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Breaking news. Did Guns Picks, if we encouraged it, are you retiring from non-bowl games? Yes or no?
I will say this. My bets may be coming in very late.
Yeah.
Because I want to know who's playing. And I want to see the impact of the line based off that person opting out. Sometimes you get the advantage of knowing before the bowls come out, but there are cases where you have to wait until somebody that you know on the inside that is working at the Pinstripe Bowl. Hey, I didn't see so and so warming up, and I don't see him suited up. Looks like he's on crutches, or he's sitting in street clothes, but he's supporting the team. That's the stuff that I'm looking. I mean, that it's mostly the stuff before January 1st that really drives me nuts. Is trying to try
those bowl games are equivalent to like trying to guess the Gatorade color in the Super Bowl.
It's gotten to that. It's gotten to that. And I think with the expansion of the college football playoff, maybe we'll have a little bit of a incentive from these guys to play in these games. But that's my hope. But that's my forget it. Sometimes you just need to say, maybe I shouldn't bet on college football until it means something to the players, and I know that most of them are going to play.
Wow.
But that's what a great segment. I love it.
I think it's.
And we went a little bit long, but we'll figure this out once we get there. Before we shut down, you've already given your plays. I've given my plays for MLB. Do you have an MLB play tomorrow, or you want to give that out, or do you want to just say I'm just going to roll with the British Open?
Yeah, the way you can get the plays are DM me, DM Guns, DM Dadbods. Hop in our get involved. All right, it's a growing community. And we've literally lowered the price where it's like nothing now. It's like it's $50 to get your head in the door, and then you tip $1 per month. So it's nothing. The
right.
Community growing. You can talk shit about me. You can talk shit about Guns.
That's right.
Talk shit about anybody. But I will say my closing thought. Week 1, college football. TCU versus Colorado. A match to beat all matchups is a mess. They're a mess.
Both teams.
Their over-under this year is 3.
On Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah.
They're abysmal. They're gone. They have a brand new coordinator that's supposed to revamp the system. Brand new coordinator tells me, once again, it can take 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You week 1. What do you think that spread is?
TCU versus Colorado. Gary Patterson's not there anymore, right? Did he?
No.
He's done.
He handed the torch off, I believe.
He did. He just retired.
You love
Let me say 12.5.
7.5, right?
Boo. Okay.
That's telling, though. In Guns' theory, that would be like, oh, that's telling.
But it is, because I'm trying to think who's left on that team for TCU. I think the turnover should be fine. And Colorado was just a mess. So yeah, 7. Wow. Okay.
Well,
so what are you thinking?
My thought is, I think it's one of those lines that are just kind of hanging out there in on your book right now, 7.5. I could totally see that line jumping to 9.5.
Yeah, I could too.
Up 10. So I'm taking 7.5. TCU week 1. I'm not buying what Colorado's selling.
I mean, I don't think anybody is. Not this
Which
year.
closing thoughts, my man?
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to sporadically be giving picks on the podcast as I go along. As I start, that one just stuck in my mind because I was looking at the AAC and I saw that Memphis was playing Mississippi State, and all of a sudden you just have a light bulb hit you in front of your face, and you go, "Oh, I remember watching that game, and I remember like every little highlight." So that stuff's going to come to me as I watch. I see the schedules, and as I'm notating them, I'm going to give them out. So please watch the Dadbodd podcast. Also, as Lockbet said, go check us out on Dadpods on Slack. There's 4 of us. It is $50 to get in, and all you have to do is just give a tip a month. And it's basically a performance-based tip. That's all it is. We don't judge on what you give, and it's a fun little chat that we do, and I think it's going to get a lot better as we get into football season. So I appreciate everybody that's watching the Dadbodd's podcast. Check you next week. We'll have a very special guest that's coming in and scheduled. So
Before you
next
close,
time. Go ahead.
I want to say this live so we can clip it. Spencer Rattler, 35-1. Some at 40-1, some 45-1. Find a good line, put $10 on it. Heisman. See you later. Gamecocks.
Value bets.
Spencer Rattler this time last year was what, 10-1 or 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, because he's playing for the Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer apparently, but he's only whispered in the ears of 2.
Guess who Lincoln Riley's assistant coach was? Shane Beamer. I'm telling you, watch out, Gamecocks, baby.
Beamer is a staple in college football. So, till next time on the Dadbodd's podcast, thanks for joining us. This was a long one, but it was a fun one. And nonetheless, till next time, peace.